we learn about a bad family feud that I cannot wait to tell you about, secret drug use, gang activity. Hold on to your fucking hats because this is a real whodunit. Hey everyone.
Hello.
How are ya? How you feeling? I'm talking to you.
Me?
Oh yeah.
Meh. Rundown, but love a recording sesh.
I know. It's just really
brings me alive, man.
lifts all spirits, doesn't it?
It does.
Awesome. Well, today, I don't know if I have anything at the top.
Go for it.
Today, I'm telling y'all about Joe and Olga Connell.
Waiting for my reaction.
Yeah.
Like I know
okay.
that.
Great.
I don't think I do.
Cool. Sources. A lot of articles from Wilmington News Journal and DelawareOnline.com. Jeez.
Okay.
Court documents, true crime news on YouTube, and a Dateline episode called Favorite Son.
You don't have to apologize.
Oh, okay, cool. Joe Connell was born in Wilmington, Delaware in 1974 to parents Tom and Mickey. He was the middle child with an older brother named John and a little sister named Kelly, but Joe was said to be the favorite son, hence that Dateline episode, especially for his mom, Mickey. And a story I'll tell you about in a little bit will prove that to be 100% true.
Great.
The dad, Tom, owned a golf service station and was pretty successful. So they lived in a big stone colonial house on 5 acres in Wilmington, Delaware. Fun.
Let's go.
I know. The siblings were all just a couple of years apart, so they were all really close. Apparently, the Connells were very boisterous. Joe, in particular, was loud and fun and outdoorsy. He was a drummer and hunted. And as an adult, he went out a lot, drank a lot, very social, which a lot of people loved about him. But there was a little bit of a dark side. And I'm going to tell you an example.
Okay.
In 2003, when he was 29 years old, Joe was out at a bar called Tailgates with his girlfriend at the time. And Joe was pretty drunk and he started mouthing off to some guy who he thought was hitting on his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. It escalated into a fight and ultimately they ended up in the parking lot. And by now, friends are jumping in. So it's a pretty big group of guys.
It's a scene.
It's a brawl.
It's reminiscent of Vanderpump Season 1 when Jax and Frank get into it in the parking lot in Vegas.
Stassi's birthday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jax rips off his chunky knit.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And then from that point forward, told everyone he was going to have a sweater. and that in his mind, that meant that he has a sweater line. Where his mom went.
He wears one chunky knit in the desert, and all of a sudden he's a expert at textiles and sweater and knitwear.
What a dipshit.
Good God. Pay your taxes. If I can't get at least one tax reference per episode about Jax, then I'm not doing this anymore. Okay?
Pay the fucking IRS what you owe them. My God.
Oh. So this, again, escalates. Now there's a big group out there. It's a brawl. Someone throws a beer bottle and hits Joe in the head.
Ooh.
In response, Joe ran to his truck and grabbed his shotgun.
No.
Which was not loaded, but nobody knew that at the time.
Okay.
So the bar obviously calls the cops. The cops get there and Joe points the shotgun at them. To which a trooper draws his gun and orders Joe to drop it. Joe does no such thing. Instead, he stops pointing it at him, but he just, carries it off to his truck, jumps in and drives away. That's not going to do. So
that's not going to work for them.
He immediately gets pulled over. And when they're trying to arrest him, he starts kicking and fighting them. They subdue him and he's under arrest and charged with 2 counts of aggravated menacing, possession of a firearm during a felony, and resisting arrest. Why no DUI, I'm not sure, but that's probably the least of his problems at this point.
Yeah.
This was his very first run-in with the law, but it's a big one. So he's facing prison time, but because he had no criminal history, he was offered a plea deal to do no more than 2 years, which his attorney said, take it. But Joe was confident that he'd be exonerated at trial, so he said no thanks, and he pled not guilty.
Joe.
This proved to be a big mistake because he was found guilty on all counts and he ended up serving 6 years in prison.
Damn. Why hire an attorney if you're not going to take their advice? Come on.
Oh, yeah.
And you had so many witnesses. Like, of course you're
know.
found guilty. Come on.
I know. I think the fact that the gun actually wasn't loaded, he was hoping would work more in his favor. I don't know. But
Yeah.
prison hit him. He really felt bad about ruining his family's reputation. He started taking anger management classes. He started working out a lot. And ultimately, he ran the prison fitness center. He was a model prisoner.
Oh, okay. Great.
He was released in 2010 when he was 36 years old and was determined to stay on the straight and narrow. He had always been a really good mechanic. He loved working on cars and motorcycles. Apparently, when he was a kid, he'd take apart his dad's lawnmower just to understand like how it was built. He loved stuff like that.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah. So when he got out of prison, he and his good friend, who was also a respected mechanic named Chris Rivers, opened a garage together called C&S Automotive Repair. What did I say?
Automated.
Oh, automotive repair. Jesus. Off the bat, the garage was really successful. It was bringing in an estimated $50,000 per month, possibly even more, depending on what source you're reading. Another one said $1 million a year. Either way, good job.
Yeah.
So Joe is thriving after prison. When he wasn't working, he was at the gym. He stayed out of trouble. Everything was good. In October 2010, Joe joined an online dating site, and that's where he met Olga Ryatina. Olga was born and raised in Chita, Russia. She was really smart, graduating college with a degree in chemistry and physics. In 2006, she met an engineer named Ramal Helmy who lived in Wilmington, Delaware. The two got married, and that's what brought her to the States and brought her specifically to Delaware. But they were just complete opposites. Ramal was shy. He didn't like to be social. Meanwhile, Olga loved to be out and about, being with friends, very social.
Yeah.
So eventually it just stopped working and they got divorced in early 2010.
Okay.
So this was her first go at online dating. And again, it led her to Joe.
Okay.
From the very first message, she and Joe hit it off. They moved quickly and met for the first date at a local park where they spent hours getting to know each other. Joe wanted to start this new relationship with no secrets, no skeletons in his closet. So he was straight up with her. He said, I've just spent 6 years in prison, just got out for some drunken mistake. So if that's a deal breaker, there it is. She told him it was ironic because her dad was a seasoned Russian detective who worked his whole life catching people like this. But it wasn't a deal breaker. They were like instantly in love.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that crazy though?
Yeah, but I thought you were going to be like, my dad got in the same fight.
No.
I don't know.
That would be terrible.
My dad got in a fight in a bar. Some asshole with an unloaded gun pointing it at him.
No, I see. No. The opposite. He's a police officer in Russia.
Right. What a job. What a career. My God.
I know. Joe introduced Olga to his entire family, and they also loved her. She fit in really well with them. She was sweet, but also outgoing and social again. So they just loved her, and they're all like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Joe eventually moved into the condo that Olga and her ex-husband once shared together. And eventually she left her job selling stocks online and started working at C&S Automotive Repair with Joe. She worked at the front desk, seemingly as like an office manager of sorts. Mm-hmm. She kept everything organized and tidy and greeted customers when they walked in, and all the regulars loved her. So she was really good at that. She was very sweet, good fit at the garage. All the mechanics loved her, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can be the kiss of death for couples to live together and work together, but not for them. They loved it. They wanted to spend every second together. They were like obsessed with each other.
Cute.
I know. Again, the shop did pretty well. So Olga and Joe had a pretty lavish lifestyle. They traveled a lot, went to a lot of nice, expensive dinners. If Olga was craving like Russian food, he'd drop whatever he was doing and take her to this Russian grocery store in Philadelphia to get caviar or whatever delicacy they could find. Wow. They bought expensive matching watches. He bought a really nice motorcycle, and he gifted Olga a $100,000 Mercedes. So they're like living it up.
Yeah.
After about 2.5 years of dating, Joe proposed, and on June 7th, 2013, they got married in a private ceremony, just them two, on St. John in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Hey. 11 months later, I got married right there.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Where was the reception?
It was just them two, so they were just on the beach.
Oh, okay.
Their ceremony was almost ruined, though, when Olga got a really mean text that sent Joe into a fury. And we'll get more into that text in a little bit.
Really testing Joe's anger management.
Yeah, he was pissed. While a blip on their perfect day, they recovered and had a blissful 10 days in St. John before returning home. They like looped it in with a honeymoon. Oh,
nice.
Fun.
I know.
A few months later, on September 21st, 2013, Joe planned a big dinner with friends and family at a riverside restaurant called Firestone in Wilmington to celebrate Olga's 39th birthday. Mm-hmm. They had dinner and danced late into the night and into the early morning hours of September 22nd. They stayed until last call. It was a fun night, and just after 1 a.m., they decided to head home. Olga and Joe pulled up to their condo complex around 1:30 a.m., parked, and started walking towards their front door, but they never made it in.
Oh, shit.
At 1:43 a.m., Wilmington police received several phone calls from residents of the condo complex reporting that they heard several gunshots. One caller said he heard someone yell, "What the fuck?" before hearing what he thought was 3 shots. But then that neighbor said he had also been watching a movie and he was confused about if it was coming from the movie or outside. I think he was like coming to, like he had fallen asleep and was coming to. I was like, was that this? I don't know.
Yeah.
Another said they looked out the window and saw a woman on the ground bleeding. So he ran out there while on the phone with 911 and confirmed that she was still breathing and there seemed to be no one else around. Paramedics and Newcastle police officer Kelly Richards arrived at the scene. They found Olga lying on the ground of the walkway. She had been shot 3 times, once in her cheek, once in her upper back, and once in her head, but she was still breathing, barely.
Oh.
As paramedics work on Olga to keep her alive, Officer Richards and other detectives are walking around and make another shocking discovery.
Oh, shit.
There's a garden off to the side, and in the corner, they found Joe lying on the ground and, quote, riddled with gunshots, as they put it. He had been shot 4 times in the back of the head, as well as his chest, arms, and knees.
4 times in the back of the head. You got him. No need to shoot further. Jesus.
I know. He was holding his cell phone in one hand, and in the other hand, he was cradling his head. But sadly, he was dead. I know. Isn't that sad?
Yes. And probably had his phone to call 911.
Sure.
Awful.
Then Officer Richards realizes that she knows them. She knows Olga and Joe. Almost 2 months earlier, she responded to a call about a burglary at their condo. Very soon, this about the burglary. Very soon after they got back from St. John and their wedding, they came home one day and found their door kicked in and a bunch of Olga's jewelry gone, including like heirlooms passed down from her mom who had just passed away. Like a lot of family, like it's just so fucked up. A lot of like family valuables. Olga was really upset by it, and Joe was certain he knew who was behind it. But he couldn't prove it, so no one was ever charged.
Oh, you're really keeping us in the dark here, Rach.
Sure am. Olga was rushed to the hospital, and they're really hoping that they can save her so she can tell them what she remembers and who shot at them and who killed Joe. But unfortunately, she died on the way to the hospital.
Oh.
At the crime scene, they found about 20 shell casings from 2 different guns all over the place. So there were 2 shooters. There's no surveillance around the condo building. Bummer. I know. So, okay. This is 2013. I know.
That is, okay. Silly.
It didn't even note that it was just broken. Like it said no surveillance. Like it really.
That's so interesting.
Since there had been a very recent burglary, they initially theorized that robbery could have been the motive, but several pieces of evidence contradicted that. Joe had over $100 cash in his wallet. Olga still had her wedding ring on, which was big. Yeah. Her purse hadn't been taken, so no. Most of the neighbors said they didn't see anything, but they heard a lot, specifically the gunshots. And just before that, they heard 2 male voices arguing. Again, one neighbor heard, "What the fuck?" Another heard a man's voice yell, "You fucker, you fucker." Like there was definitely an argument. Yeah. They determined this is likely what happened. The first shooter, who was Olga's killer, was hiding in the bushes to the right of the Connells' front door, which is like
creepy.
So creepy.
Yeah.
When Olga began to put her key in the lock and the door, he emerged and shot her. Her keys were found in the lock.
Damn.
I know. After she was shot, the second shooter emerged from a car that was parked nearby and had a 9mm gun and began shooting Joe. Joe was likely yelling, "What the fuck?" The one yelling, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And I think the shooter yelled, "You fucker," or whatever, because the neighbor said it was definitely two different men who said that, and he didn't recognize the "you fucker."
Yeah.
Joe tried to turn and run.
Oh, okay.
So he tried to turn and run. He was shot, but was still upright. So he ran towards the corner of the building away from the shooters, but fell down like in the garden.
Oh, okay.
And he was then shot 3 more times. And then the shooter went up to him and shot him more times in the head. It's like,
God,
overkill.
Right.
You got him. He's down.
I mean,
wow. But I mean, if the goal is make sure he's dead, I guess that's what
if the goal is to wake up the neighborhood, you are killing it.
Oh, yeah. So given all of the ear witnesses and how it went down, obviously this is a very targeted ambush.
Mm-hmm.
The investigation starts and we start learning a lot. We learn about a bad family feud that I cannot wait to tell you about, secret drug use, gang activity. Hold on to your fucking hats because this is a real whodunit.
Oh, yes. All right. I love a family feud.
When police sat down with family members, obviously the first thing they ask is, did they have beef with anyone who hated them? Well, yeah. Several people, including Joe's mom, said, yeah, there was big beef.
Do tell.
The family, including the mom, was very suspicious of Joe's little sister, Kelly. Get a load of this.
Oh, my God. Tell me about Kelly.
Okay. Several years prior to this, Mickey and Tom, their parents, got divorced. Mickey kept the mom. I know it's confusing. I don't know what Mickey's short for, but that's her name.
Probably Michelle or Michaela or something.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Mackenzie. Several things.
Yeah,
anyway, she went by Mickey, so we're going to keep going. Mickey kept her old wedding ring, which was huge. It was a very nice ring, a cluster of about 30 diamonds. 30 small diamonds. Huge.
What?
Gorgeous. Okay. A family heirloom. Loved it.
Yeah.
Well, in 2005, like 8 years before the murders, Mickey gifted the ring to Kelly so it could one day be her wedding ring. She passed it down. Kelly was obsessed with the ring. She was thrilled. She's the only daughter. It's a nice sentiment. Yay.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Fast forward 8 years later, 2013, a few months before the murders, Mickey asked Kelly if she could borrow the ring to go on a trip to Mexico. She just wanted like nice jewelry to wear. It was hers for so many years. She was like, can I just wear it in Mexico and then I'll bring it back? I want, we have nice, she's remarried at this point. They have nice dinners. She's like, Kelly's like, sure, take it. Mickey goes to Mexico, comes back, gives Kelly the ring back, but something's off about it.
Oh God. It's like a vending machine ring. He's like replaced it and like, here it is. No, this is plastic, Mom.
I don't remember your problem. Having candy in it. It's now a big diamond, but it tastes delicious.
Yeah.
I don't know what made Kelly do this, but she went and got the ring checked, and it turns out all the diamonds had been replaced with cubic zirconias. Mickey did not take the ring to Mexico. She learned that Joe was planning on proposing to Olga and tricked Kelly into giving it to her so she could then give it to Joe for Olga's ring. They had the diamonds removed, replaced them with CVs, which was Joe's idea, and then gave it back to Kelly. This was like Mickey and Joe's little secret. This is why he's the favorite son.
No takesies, backsies. You gave it to her.
I read that. I said out loud, I cannot believe they did that.
Like, what the hell? Think things through. Make it, from the beginning, give it to your favorite kid. Which is such a weird concept, by the way.
I know.
But
no.
That's a very reasonable thing too. Give your heirloom to your son so he can give it to his wife from the jump.
Yeah.
It's just a very, don't
8 years
give
later
it to your daughter. Tell her you want it to wear just for a Mexico vacation. And then trick her. Go get some fake diamonds in there and give it back. Like, what the hell what are you thinking?
It's unreal.
It's just weird. Yeah, it's unreal. Kelly's gonna see that ring on Olga's finger too. What the
No,
hell's
they
wrong with
just
you?
took the diamonds. No, they just took the diamonds from the
They
ring
just
and
did-
had it
okay.
made into a custom wedding ring.
Wow.
But she got it back and was like, something ain't right. So she got it checked, and she learned of the cubic zirconias on the day of Olga and Joe's wedding. That is the scathing text Olga got during the ceremony that set Joe off. Olga had no idea that Mickey and Joe had this little scheme. She had no idea.
Right. And probably very warranted that she sends a scathing text, probably not to Olga. It should have gone to Joe. But like, and then Joe got pissed down in St. John. I'd be like, you had to have seen this coming, dude.
I mean,
you
another source said she sent it to, another source said she sent it to both of them, which makes more sense. But Moore said it was just to Olga. Who knows? She was pissed. She texted them, and so that sent Joe into a fury. It was a whole thing. In the Dateline, Mank asks Mickey if she regrets such a scheme, to which she says, nope. Nope.
What did Mankey say to that?
You can tell Mank is judging. Mank's like, I cannot believe you did that.
And you really butchered your family heirloom that you're so attached to. Whatever. Okay. That's great.
Yeah. So that's the family feud. Then when they were robbed less than 2 weeks later, after they got back from St. John, and it was less than 2 weeks when their condo was robbed, all of Olga's jewelry was gone. So obviously, no, she was wearing, when they came home, she was wearing her wedding ring. So they did not take that.
Oh, right. Yep.
But they took all of her other jewelry and not much else. I think they took a laptop. So everyone was like, Kelly, this is very clearly you. You're behind this. That's who. Right. Joe told the police that. My sister did this. He confronted her. She denied it. But that was the nail in the coffin for them. They stopped speaking. If they did speak, it was a full drag out fight. That was it.
What a shame.
I know.
So unnecessary. Okay.
Isn't that I was like, wait, sorry. What'd you say you did? Whoa.
It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And also not reason to kill anyone. If Kelly did kill Olga over it. But she would have taken the ring. That's what she wanted. She would have taken that ring right off her finger. Surely.
Well, we'll see. Things were so bad between Joe and Kelly that he even told their other brother, John, Joe told John this, that if anything ever happened to him, Kelly did it. So this is real interesting.
Yeah.
Police bring Kelly in, are like, we heard this batshit story. And Kelly's a wreck. She's crying. They tell her, of course, about the murders. She apparently fell to her knees at first when she found out. She's devastated, and she's forthcoming about the feud. Yeah, she's pissed, obviously. Yeah. They question her for hours. She even draws the ring at one point. She said that Joe was evil to her. They fought viciously back and forth. Joe and Olga even filed a restraining order against Kelly, but it was denied. At one point during the fighting, she said she texted Olga and said, hey, Joe is using and selling steroids. Go look in his work toolbox.
Was he?
Huh. Over the next 3 days.
Is that the puzzle of why we're so angry, Joe?
We'll see.
You're just a bunch of will sees today. Someone has a case of the will sees.
I know we are. I'm will seeing it up. Over the next 3 days, Kelly was questioned multiple times and maintained that she had nothing to do with the robbery. She had nothing to do with the murders. She was at home recovering from a surgery at the time of the murders, but they were like, no, we don't think you actually shot anyone. We think you hired someone.
Oh, okay. So let's say surgery recovery is very verifiable.
They said they didn't say what it was, but they said it was a pretty big surgery. She wasn't incapacitated though, but no, they don't think she shot. I think she had a fiance at the time who verified that she was at home. Again, she was recovering from something. Mm-hmm. And the neighbors heard 2 male voices. I don't know. They're like, we don't think you actually did it, but we think you could have orchestrated it. But then they're like, well, wait, hold on. Sorry. What's the steroid? Say the steroid thing again. Is that right?
Tell us that again.
He was using and selling steroids. So for now, Kelly is top suspect, but then now that's another lead. They're like, we want to know more about, we have one scenario, that's Ringgate. We have another scenario, and that's Roy rage,
Gate.
roid dealing gone down. I mean, gone wrong, whatever.
Gate.
Roid gate. And it was true. A few hours after the murder, they went to CNS Automotive Repair and talked to Chris Rivers, the partner. They walked in and he like greeted them. Nothing was wrong. And they were like, we want to speak to you about Joe Connell. And Chris replied, oh, what did he do now?
Ooh.
And they were like, oh, you don't even know. Wow. So they keep that to themselves. They don't tell them. And they're like, oh, that's interesting. Come to the station. You tell us what he could have done now. Like he seems to be mixed up in something that you know about and we don't, because we did not expect that response.
Yeah.
So he does. And Chris tells them that he's known Joe for about 10 years. This is all, he does not know that they're murdered. They worked well together, so they opened their own garage together. But Chris was sort of on the outs with Joe. He was thinking about getting out of the partnership because over the past 6+ months, Joe like stopped working. He'd come in at random times, if at all. That's why it didn't really raise any flags that he wasn't at the garage that morning when Chris was. He was spending frivolously, yet not contributing to the success of the garage. So Chris was just over it. Mm-hmm. Then when another employee, and Chris told them this, another employee came up to Chris and told him that Joe was selling steroids out of the back of the garage. And Chris was like, hell no. We're not getting this shit shut down because of this. He told Chris that
we have a good thing going. I want no part of it.
Right. So he told Joe to get that shit out of here. Fuck that. We're not losing the garage over that bullshit. Mm-hmm. Chris at one point even stops the questioning and goes, I don't want Joe to know I said any of this.
Wow.
Like, he has no idea. So they're like, okay, well, were found murdered this morning. And, Chris has his head in his hands. It's all online. Yeah. He's crying. He's like, oh my, y'all are just letting me go on talking shit. And wow.
Right.
Thanks.
Now I feel guilty. Although Chris is a suspect in my mind right now.
Yeah, everyone is. So they asked his whereabouts about the night of the murder, and they knew about Olga's birthday dinner. So they're like, did you go? He said he was going to go. He ended up working late that night. And when he got to the restaurant, he realized he left his wallet at the shop, or his ID maybe at the shop. And he really didn't want to go back and get it. It was already 10:30 at this point. He was already really late. He just wanted to go home. He and his girlfriend also just had a baby boy. So he never even walked in. He just went home over it. And now he feels bad about that. His girlfriend and security cameras at his house confirmed that he was at home.
Okay.
Then he mentioned the same family drama, Ringgate, everyone they talked to.
Have you heard about this ring officer? And the officer's like, for Christ's sake, yes, I've heard about it. God.
Boy, have we heard about it. They said everyone mentioned it. Friends, family, everyone was like, Kelly's real pissed. But they are still really interested in the steroid. And as it turns out, most did say he was addicted to steroids. It started right after he got out of prison. He had taken, as I mentioned, in prison, he had taken a working out. That's pretty much all he did. That's all there is to do. Right. So when he got out, he wanted to maintain that physique. So he was introduced to like black market steroids.
Why does this repulse me so much?
Like, I know.
It makes me nauseous.
I know. So eventually he was using them. He eventually started selling them. Former employees at the garage noticed a change in his behavior when he was in the thick of it. His mood was all over the place. He'd get really pissed over nothing. At one point, he got in a really bad argument with a customer. It was very clear what was going on, and it was confirmed when an employee walked in the bathroom and caught him using it.
Oh,
gross. So while sketchy, though, investigators like dealing performance-enhancing drugs, sketchy and illegal, yes, but it's usually not cause for murder, like meth, cocaine. Like these are drugs that really lead to drug deals gone wrong. Not out of the realm of possibility, though. So definitely could be a link, but it's not typical.
Right.
So they look at Joe's life within prison. Maybe he had a beef with someone he met there and they got out and they had revenge.
Sure.
They learned that in prison, he had actually become good friends with several members of the pagan biker gang. One of them was his cellmates, and Joe was a lover of motorcycles. This is like Hell's Angels' biggest rival. They're a big biker gang.
Never heard of them.
I know. They're known for drug distribution as well as violent crimes. There's a lot of violent crimes noted on their Wikipedia. So if he kept in touch with these guys after his release, there's a big possibility they could be involved.
Yeah.
Police questioned a few known members of the Pagans who insisted they have nothing to do with this. But what really convinced investigators was when one of the leaders of the Pagans came forward and asked to sit down with investigators, which may surprise you to learn that gang members rarely voluntarily speak to police officers.
No, they're very forthcoming.
That's the bomb drop. So they're like, sure, we'll chat with you. The leader, I don't know his name, assures them that they had no business dealings with Joe. Joe was not a member of the Pagans. He was not an enemy of the Pagans. They really had nothing to do with them beyond prison. So move on from that. And they couldn't find a link anyway, so they kind of do.
Yeah.
Then they consider Olga's ex-husband, Ramal Helmy. Remember, she was married to an engineer from Delaware. Well, he's originally from Turkey. She's from Russia. They met and were married after only spending 1 week together.
Oh,
one of the Wilmington, the new articles, the Delaware Online articles called her a mail order bride. I don't know about that. I don't even know if you're allowed to say that anymore, but it said that. So I'm just telling you.
Okay.
I do know they met online. They spent 1 week together in Turkey. They were married right after that. His family did not support it whatsoever.
His family didn't?
No. Yeah. His family did not support it at all. Kamal had given Olga a lot of jewelry, a lot of it passed down from their family, or his side of the family. And when they divorced, which was, again, right before she met Joe, the family was pushing for him to get the jewelry back, but he wouldn't do it. So she still had a lot of the jewelry, most of which was taken the night they were robbed. So.
Wow. Oh, that's a huge shame.
I know. That is, yeah.
If you marry someone who gives you family heirlooms, I mean, I would think when you get divorced, yeah, you give that back. I don't know.
I know. I don't know what the deal with that was, but so they thought maybe him or maybe his family was behind the robbery and murder, but again, no connection. He had moved to Texas by this point, and during the time of the murder, he had an alibi. His family still lived in Turkey. Like, it's just not likely. They considered, there was rumors about the Russian mob at one point. They considered it. Again, just rumors. No.
Yeah.
So they're exploring theory after theory, rumor after rumor, but eventually the case hits a dead end. There's no DNA at the scene. All of it was Joe or Olga's. There's no eyewitnesses, no surveillance. It's all just rumors and speculation.
Yeah.
For now, Kelly is the highest on their list. I mean, come on.
Right.
She's pissed. They're good. How many times can I tell you how pissed she is?
I've heard.
You get it?
Uh-huh.
They're also getting call after call about her. Even there's actually conflicting evidence, but I think even Mickey was like, please look at my daughter more.
Mickey
even yelled at Kelly once that she was so mad at her for, quote, making her son die angry, which wasn't accusing her of the murder, but points out that he died angry at her, which I'm like, girl, you're involved too, Mickey. You were half of that scheme. Remember that?
Right. You made Joe die pissed. Why was Joe dying pissed?
He was pissed at Kelly.
No, just because of the whole ring gate. Okay. But that was your doing, Mickey.
Right.
Joe, I know Joe's a victim. No one deserves to die over this. It's a ridiculous family feud. But she's in the right to be a little pissed at y'all. And if you're pissed in retaliation, that's, I don't know.
I know. I don't know if she thought that she should have been over it by now and they should have made up. So then he wouldn't die with a rift between them. I don't know. She wasn't necessarily accusing her of murder.
Yeah.
Once a couple sources said she did accuse her. We'll see. I don't know.
Okay.
We won't see actually, because I don't know her stance.
Okay.
In October 2013, a local news outlet covered the unsolved murders and interviewed some of the key players that we've all talked about. They rehashed the whereabouts and who all was at Olga's birthday dinner, and something really stood out to investigators while they watched the news stories. Something ain't right about what someone's saying.
Mm.
The interviewer of the local news station asked Joe's business partner, Chris Rivers, about the party and if he went, and Chris said, no, I was going to, but I ended up working late and I went straight home. And investigators are watching the news segment and are like, wait, no. You told us you went to the restaurant, realized you didn't have your ID, then you went home.
Right.
The interviewer then asked if he talked to Joe and told him that he wasn't coming. He was like, yeah, I called him just to let him know. And like, it was fine. They were fine with it. And the investigator's like, wait, what? You didn't say any of that. So now they're like, this is weird. This is sketchy. So they revisit Chris Rivers, and boy,
that doesn't really do it for me. I mean, I know you're based on your reaction, he's clearly guilty, but I'm like, maybe he just wanted to tell the short version to a news anchor in front of on TV where everyone's watching. And he was like, I ended up going home.
Well, at one
instead
point,
of doing the whole spiel about, well, I went to the parking lot, realized I didn't have my wallet. I didn't want to go anywhere. Like, you know, in an interview with police, you're going to give more details, but like to a news anchor, maybe he doesn't want to be on camera that much. And he's like,
I know, but then at one point you can hear someone off camera, his attorney is what I'm guessing, someone saying, well, no, you did stop. And he said, oh, I went to McDonald's. It's just weird. And the investigator's like, you didn't mention any of that. You didn't mention that to us. When you say you talked to the victim before, and when you say you went to McDonald's, like when you're and yeah, I guess to a news anchor, you could just be like, no, I went home just to avoid more. But they were like, that is so weird that you didn't mention that to us. So they look into him, and yikes.
And hold on.
Holy shit. First of all,
your fucking hat. What's he up to?
Well, I'll tell you what he's up to. After the murders, first of all, the shop fell into complete disarray. Employees actually, financially, and customers stopped coming in. They were like, oof, something sketchy. Like the owner was murdered, but also literally invoices and paperwork everywhere. People couldn't work the computers. Like, I think Olga ran that shit. Like it was just a mess. So it was like going under. Friends of Chris told them that Chris always complained about Joe draining the business bank accounts to fund his lavish lifestyle, leaving Chris to figure out how to pay employees. Like some employees weren't being paid on time because Joe was draining the bank accounts. Well, investigators look into that claim, and it couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, Joe was the one usually taking less than he was supposed to in order to keep the business afloat. Sometimes both of them, Joe and Olga, opting out of being paid at all.
Oh, God. Chris, you little piece of shit.
Right. So with the success of the business early on, why was it bleeding money like this? Because it certainly wasn't Joe. He wasn't doing it. As it turns out, Chris Rivers had an extremely demanding and expensive drug addiction, particularly painkillers like oxycodone and Percocet, but also cocaine, bunch of stuff.
Oh, God.
Because of this and his horrible way of doing business, he was in massive amounts of debt. They found that he had lawsuits against him for like back rent that he owed. A few years prior, a candy and cigarette vendor that he used, I guess, with another business, but I think as well as this one, the garage with Joe, won a $128,000 judgment against him and the repair shop, but Joe wasn't on the lawsuit. It was with Chris's previous business and this one, but for some reason, Joe wasn't named in the lawsuit. I don't know what happened there. It may have been before they were officially partners or before Joe. I don't know.
What the hell is a candy and cigarette vendor?
I think how, like, if I go to Valvoline to get my oil changed, there's like candy in there. Not cigarettes.
A vending machine?
Like a vending machine. Yeah.
Oh,
but maybe they had a cigarette machine too. And it's the same vendor. It's the same company.
All right. No, I know that like cigarette.
So I'm sure there's a monthly fee for that because
like candy and cigarette sounds like targeting children to smoke.
Well,
and I hope that's not the case.
It was a vending machine only with candy cigarettes.
That's what I was picturing too. The candy cigarettes. Remember those? How chalky.
Yeah.
Sort of disgusting.
I mean, I'm assuming there's a monthly fee to have that and to have the company come restock it. And he wasn't paying it. And I guess $128,000 worth. So, there was also a lawsuit from a credit union after Chris defaulting on a personal loan. It's a mess. He's horrible at money. He's horrible at everything. So when Chris and Joe went into business together, they paid almost $1 million for an old garage in a really good location. As a condition of the mortgage financing, they had to get a joint life insurance policy on each other for almost $1 million with each other as the beneficiary. So someone swimming in debt has an opportunity to get a quick million. Motive.
Yeah.
So they really turn up the investigation on Chris. They ask him for his phone, which he gladly gives them because these investigators are idiots and doesn't know that Chris already deleted all the incriminating activity.
Joke's on y'all, pigs. Oink, oink.
Can't pull one over on this guy. No, they of course recover it.
Sure.
And they found that late the night before and into the early morning hours of the murders, Chris, he wasn't home again, but he had a ton of outgoing and incoming calls from one of the garage's regular customers, Joshua Bay. Joshua had a lengthy criminal background and was a former FBI informant. Hey-o. Don't know what he was informing. Well, he's a narc in so many regards. I can get into a few of them, but I don't know what specifically he informed the FBI of, but it said former.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So nothing came. I don't know.
Okay.
I definitely looked. Jeez. Too hard, probably.
Sure.
Love that shit.
Me too.
Just a month before the murders, in August 2013, Joshua Bay stood trial for an unrelated case. It was a forgery and weapons charge. He asked for leniency, saying that he was on a better track and wanted to be around for his daughter. And the judge agreed and sentenced him to home confinement. And that was just a month before the murders. He really should have stayed in prison, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah.
So police are talking to him and are like, Chris Rivers had several calls back and forth with you and deleted all of them, which you've never even been mentioned in this case. So I don't know why he's deleting them. You're just a regular.
Right.
Joshua says he does not know Chris. He has no idea what they're talking about. They show him the phone records. And again, this is the recovered memories that I love when police back these people in a corner. And then all of a sudden they have a revelation. He's like, oh, duh,
Chris.
yes.
I call him Christopher. I didn't know.
Sorry. I call him Topher.
Yeah.
You should have said that. Sorry. Yes, I do know Chris. He was supposed to be working on my car, but I couldn't get in touch with him. We were playing phone tag. Some of those calls are butt dials. And they're like, what? They're mostly incoming calls to you. How do you know if they're butt dials?
This is a parade of dipshits just marching along thinking they can get away with shit.
Don't worry. We have more dipshits coming.
Oh my God. Clowns. Delaware is a small state. How are there this many dipshits there?
Joshua said that the night of the murders, he was working a night shift at Kohl's department store, which easy confirmation. And he was.
Okay.
So they know he's not the shooter, but they're confident he's involved.
Right.
About a week later, they question him again, and he admits that he's actually Chris's drug dealer. So, reminder, he's on probation and supposed to be on home confinement. So he's arrested for violation and for providing false statements to police.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, they had already gotten Joshua's phone records and saw that whenever Chris called him, he in turn called two other numbers every single time. Chris would call him.
A lot of people are involved. Yeah.
Right. So these 4 phone numbers are in the mix and they're in constant contact the night of the murders.
Right. Chris and what's his face?
Joshua,
and then 2 unknown. Okay.
2 unknowns. Since they know that Joshua was at work that night, they have a new theory. Chris Rivers hired his drug dealer, Joshua, to kill Olga and Joe or find someone who would. Joshua found those 2 people to do it, and he seemingly called him a bunch that night. But who were they? Fast forward to November of 2013, which is only a couple months. Joshua has his probation violation hearing, which typically draws no crowd of any sort. It's just a hearing. No one's there.
Yeah.
But 2 guys walk in together and then sit separately and just listen to the hearing. And the prosecution took notice, and they're like, what? But they're like, hey, wait a minute. Damn it if we didn't know you 2. God. It was Dominic Benson, and Aaron Thompson, 2 PICs. They're known PICs. That's partners in crime.
Mm-hmm.
Often work together.
Do not sit together. Do not often sit together, though.
Don't walk in together and then sit on opposite sides like idiots.
Prosecution's like, we see how sketchy
we
that
know
was.
Y'all. They both, of course, have extensive criminal records. So detectives and prosecutors are like, why are they here? So the sergeant pulled out a cell phone and starts recording these 2, just videoing them.
Oh my God.
I guess it freaked
what a
them out.
man fuck. Yeah. I'd be like, what the fuck's happening?
And if I'm the judge, I'm like, what are you doing? They see him do it and they leave. One of them, one source said one of them like freaked out, like said something, but I could not find that the court document did not say that. They just said they got him on cell phone video and they're like, okay, wow. Turns out these are the two people Joshua contacted the night of the murders every time Chris was contacting him, Dominic Benson and Aaron Thompson. It's speculated that they went to the hearing to make sure Joshua didn't rat on them, but they put a huge target on their backs.
Right.
They're a bunch of dipshits.
Right.
They were not, I mean, they had Joshua's phone records, so they probably would have eventually figured out who it was, but they were burner phones. Like, I'm like, y'all did this. My God. Y'all implicated yourself.
You walked into my courtroom, you fools.
One of the prosecutors said that they thought they heard them when they walked into the courtroom say, like the prosecutors walked by them. They were sitting out originally outside, like on a bench.
Yeah.
And the prosecutors walked by and into the courtroom and they heard one of them say, there they are. And then followed them into the courtroom and they're like, there who is? Why are y'all here? What are y'all doing?
Especially when you're
there's probably a warrant for y'all.
Yeah.
There's probably a warrant. I'd get out of here if I were you, idiots. Wow. So they're just making
it's
everyone's
remarkable.
Jobs easier.
Yeah.
No, it's really good. It's making it so much easier. So yeah, I think they went just to make sure he didn't say anything out of sorts, but I'm like, what if he did? What were you going to do?
Right.
Judge, there's deputies, there's whatever. Anyway. So investigators are building on this theory like, okay, Chris is the ringleader. Joshua is the hired drug dealer. Joshua found Aaron and Dominique. That's very clear now.
Right.
But again, there's no hard evidence. No one's talking. There's no DNA, aside from Joe and Olga, of course. Chris looks really bad and has clear motive, but so?
Right.
Finally, a year after the murders, Joshua Bay puts his informant cap back on and says, okay, I'll talk.
He's a man of many hats.
Oh my gosh. There's actually, sidebar, I always Google these people to see like if they did happen to get out or like, is there anything in their past that I can like sidebar on? There's something that happened in Oakland, California in 2008-ish, well, for several years, that I really think it's this Joshua Bay. They're the exact same age.
Oh, okay. Tell me.
Okay. So there was a bakery in California. There may have been several of them. It's called Your Black Muslim Bakery.
Love it.
His family owned them, but it seemed legit for
whose family
a while.
owned them?
Joshua Bay's. Yes.
Oh.
It seemed like it was a legit business for a while. His dad, I think, bought it from someone like maybe mid-90s, but then it got real sketchy. There was some sketchy business dealings. They were accused of like trafficking. They were accused of rape. They were accused of a couple murders. It sounded a little cultish. At one point, Joshua Bay testified that he had 43 siblings or something. Ooh. Same dad, obviously, several moms, a lot of half brothers. They all ran the bakery. At one point, the uncle ran it, but then he was murdered. So his brother stepped up and ran. Very sketchy. They were charged with, he and some of his brothers were charged with kidnapping and torturing a young woman and her mom as they were leaving a bingo parlor.
No.
They took them, tortured them in some abandoned house because they thought that these two women knew a drug dealer who had a lot of cash and they needed cash for the bakery.
This mother and child knew the drug dealer who were leaving bingo.
The child being an adult, but young adult. Jane Doe, all the court documents said Jane Doe. She didn't want to be identified. They were okay, but everyone was arrested. But Joshua turned on his brothers and got a plea deal for testifying against them. That's why I'm like, he's also an informant. This may be him.
Oh, yeah.
To which, like, he would be testifying, and the brother
is he black
trial,
and Muslim?
Yeah, he would be I don't know if he's Muslim, but he's black. They all have almost the same name. It's got to be exact same age. I don't know, maybe not, but the informant, big criminal history.
Yeah.
It's a mess of a story. Then the editor-in-chief for the Oakland Press or the Oakland Post. I'm sorry, I deleted my notes on this because I was like, maybe I shouldn't say it, but here we are. He was going to do a big story about the bakery and expose them for like all the shadiness. But it never got published because he was shot one day walking into work and murdered.
Wow.
Eventually, Joshua's brother was convicted of that because the hitman ended up talking. It's a mess.
Oh my
God. It is
God.
crazy.
No, I want to look it up.
Okay, what's called Your Black Muslim Bakery. It will come up. The Wikipedia.
Are they known for pastry, or Black and Muslim people known for their pastries?
Apparently they were, I don't know. It was started by someone in like the 60s separate from this family. And then they bought it, and then I don't know. Apparently they were like putting out 600 bread loaves a day, but then it started getting really seedy. Ultimately, they were shut down because of rat droppings in the kitchen. But I think they were just looking for anything to shut them down because it was getting real bad.
You know, it's a good name for a bakery.
What? Rat droppings in the kitchen?
Yeah, that's perfect. No, the one in DC, so rat droppings reminds me of DC, and a bagel shop there called Call Your Mother.
Oh yeah, I love it.
I remember that. A Jewish deli or whatever, whatever it's called. But it's called Call Your Mother, and I'm like, chef's kiss.
Perfect.
It tells me everything I need to know about that bagel shop, and I'm gonna go there.
Yeah. Do you?
It's delicious. It's
okay. So you don't think that Your Black Muslim Bakery is catchy?
It's not as catchy as Call Your Mother. I'll tell you that right now.
Call your mother.
Call your mother.
But so yeah, I did originally delete that tidbit. I'm like so positive it's him. I compared mugshots. And in the one from Oakland, he's looking down too much. Like I'm like, it's gotta be you, but he's looking down. And then the recent one in this story, he's looking up a little bit. So it's really hard.
We don't have birthdays on the
no, I don't have a birthday.
Inmate information. No. All right.
I should, but they exact same age.
Wow.
1984. That's all I got. Birth year.
Should chat GPT that.
Nah. Anyway, sorry y'all. So that's crazy
insane. No,
that was a sidebar, but there's a lot of disgusting stories there. So there you go.
It's horrible.
And apparently when he was testifying against his brothers, he like turned on them. I think that happened twice. The one brother on trial was like screaming, like, don't say I'm your brother. I'm not your brother. I'm not. They were obviously pissed. Seems like his MO. It's
right.
Can you imagine the judge like you get that once, but apparently it kept happening.
God, no order in this. And it sounds like either courtroom. Both courtrooms are being chaotic, and it's too much.
I know. It's too much. So this is who I'm pretty sure we're dealing with, that Joshua Bay. It might not be him. I don't know. Alleged. Let's just throw out the word alleged. That can protect you from everything. Protect me from everything.
Sure.
Okay. So he has his informant cap back on. He says, okay, I'm going to talk. His reasons for talking are twofold. One, he wanted leniency. Duh. Mm-hmm. But also he was pissed. He saw a news story about the murders and how the automotive repair shop that, Joe and Chris once owned together is in an insane amount of debt. As the loan owner, that means Chris Rivers is in an insane amount of debt. And he hadn't even been, Joshua hadn't been paid everything yet. So he's like, oh, I'm never getting that money. Now I'm pissed. I'm going to talk about everything. So this is a year after the murders. He told police that around the time of Joe and Olga's wedding, Chris began to plan their murders and asked Joshua to help for $60,000. Joshua said, sure. And then he contacted Dominique and Aaron to actually do the killing for a cut of the $60,000.
Okay.
I think at the time of the murders, Chris had paid like $10,000 total, but that was it. And it appears he wasn't going to be able to cover the rest of the $50,000 because he was broke, and now he's effed.
Right.
Joshua also said that he was the one that robbed Olga and Joe per Chris's instructions, so he could take advantage of Ringgate and make it look like Kelly was out for revenge, and it was all to set her up for this murder. So he was framing Kelly. He's been planning this.
Yeah. So Joshua thought when he swiped all the jewelry, he swiped the ring at the start of all this. And it was like, no, you didn't.
Well, I don't know if they knew that she probably had it on her finger anyway, so it wasn't going to be at the apartment. But he told him to make it look really targeted towards her jewelry, because it would be like, because in their minds they're like, okay, well, Kelly wanted revenge about the ring. Maybe she said, then I'm taking your jewelry. You took mine, I'm taking yours. You know,
totally, yeah.
And then when they ended up murdered less than 2 months later, it was obviously Kelly.
Right. Most clever that these dipshits have been so far in this story.
Well, I think Ringgate really planted the seed for him. It's like, ooh, this is the opportunity. This is it.
Wow. Poor Kelly.
I know. To also throw off the investigation, he put the steroid narrative out there. It was true. He did use them. I don't know if he actually sold them.
Okay.
But like Kelly thought he did as well. I kind of think he did. Definitely used them. A lot of people did think he was addicted to them. But Chris, during questioning,
he might have been, but
he might have been, but it's not what got him.
Yeah. He doesn't need to be murdered.
But during early questioning, right after the murders, Chris was really pushing that. Maybe as like a little backup in case the Kelly thing didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
So at one point, he wanted the killers to plant like syringes at the scene to make it look like it may have been a drug deal gone bad. But what's funny is that he kept mentioning it early on, and he told them exactly where Joe typically kept the steroids, which was in the bathroom of the garage and a ceiling tile. So they searched the garage, and lo and behold, it's exactly where Chris said they would be. And he's like, Chris, like, see, he's a fiend. Like, these are his. He was dealing. And they're like, well, he's dead now, and you're part owner. So he got a drug charge.
Oh my God, you're right.
Like, what are you doing?
Oh,
what are you doing?
Wow.
This shit. He really. So
how do you find all the dipshit criminals?
I don't know, but it really brings me joy to laugh at people.
Oh, I know. It's the best.
So there were actually headlines right after the murders of saying like, Joe's owner, Chris, charged with a drug charge due to a search finding drugs. Not charged with the murder, nothing to do with the murder. We just found drugs. Like, I'm like, I think you planted them there to try to frame your dead co-founder. What are you talking about? Your business partner. He's dead. Now you're on the hook, idiot. It's just so dumb. Anyway, so at this point, Joshua spills everything. Everyone's arrested. Finally.
Great.
Chris's trial begins in 2016. Joshua testified, obviously. They went after Joshua's credibility, Chris's defense team, but ultimately Chris was found guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder, first-degree conspiracy, criminal solicitation, and a weapons charge, and he was sentenced to 2 life sentences plus 50 years. For his testimony, Joseph Bay pled guilty to conspiracy and got 5 years in prison.
You said Joseph Bay.
Oh my God, did I really? Joshua Bay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's because Joe, get it? Sorry, Joshua Bay, he got 5 years. The 2 gunmen, the 2 that actually did the shooting, Dominique and Aaron, were tried separately. Aaron was found guilty of first-degree murder and conspiracy and sentenced to 2 life terms. Dominique was only found guilty of conspiracy. I have no idea why. Acquitted of murder. And we
know they pulled the trigger?
Yeah, there's 2 different caliber guns.
Yeah.
He only got 5 years in prison for conspiracy. He was acquitted.
Actually, my reaction wasn't big enough for Josh. He testified against him. He came forward. So he got 5 years too? Okay.
He got 5 years because he pretty much introduced the actual killers with the king of the whole scheme.
That other guy,
Isn't
Aaron.
That weird?
Yeah, but he must have been Dominique. Sorry. He must have been like the getaway driver.
Yeah.
Must have been.
There was more on it where there was some holdup with the jury. There was something with the jury to where someone came in because Aaron was sentenced first, I believe, or was charged first. His trial was first, I think. And so something with that, I don't know. Sorry.
Right.
I just won't even try. It started getting confusing, and I was like, but you know what? The jury was hung up on it for some reason. Even so, I guess they're picturing Aaron with 2 different guns.
Maybe, right. Exactly.
Maybe there's a reason. Kelly gave a victim impact statement at Chris's trial. She was really sad. But she told Dateline, if she learned anything from this, it's to forgive. Like she actually was very sad about how they left things. She wishes he could have he wouldn't have died when they're in such a bad place.
Yeah.
It's sad to watch.
Sure.
Chris apparently didn't even look at Kelly when she was giving her statement, but when he was given a chance to speak, he took it and said, quote, "I hope I can be an example to people using drugs heavily like I did. And I would like to apologize to the Connell family." And then he turned to the Connell family and said, "Sorry." Sadly, Kelly died of a drug overdose in 2019. And I'm not sure if her and Mickey ever made amends. Mickey told Mank on Dateline that she did not regret Ringgate. At the end, he did. Right. I think he did ask if she and Kelly made amends, because when Dateline aired, Kelly was alive, and she's on it, obviously. But and she was like, "There's nothing to amend. We'll say what we want to say when we want to say it." Like, it did not seem like it. Did not seem like it. And she didn't regret it, and it's
this
very
is her mother.
Weird. Yes.
You're a strange kind of mother.
It's very weird. Mank actually said it was one of his unforgettables, and he said after like criminals that he's talked to, Mickey's the very first person fans ask about, because it's like shocking. Like he says, "Was Joe your favorite son?" And she's like, "Don't make me say it." Like, it is crazy.
Oh God, gross.
Or your favorite kid, not even son. But she's like, there's some parts where she's kind of funny. She's just very memorable. That's actually why I was like, does this ring a bell to you? Because if you saw her picture, you might remember her. She's just, I don't know. I'm sure y'all have opinions, right? It's a weird, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, poor Olga and Joe.
Sure.
Wow. It's awful. Poor Kelly,
I didn't mean to laugh so much at the Ringgate. It's just so ridiculous.
No, it's ridiculous. It's like shocking that a mom would do that.
Right. No, I know.
Like, what a scheme. You really fucked your daughter over. No, it's weird. It's laughable. Yeah. It is laughable.
She's laughable. Oh, Mickey.
Wow. So that's the whodunit of the week.
That's an insane one.
I have a custom shout out from Melissa. It's a short one, but it's wonderful. Shout out to my daughter Kaya, who listens, and we love you both. And F you, Cancer. And Melissa, actually, you're sweet for censoring yourself. I'm gonna say fuck you, Cancer. I'm gonna do it.
Fuck you.
I'm gonna throw it in. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Thank you for your custom shout. Shout out daughter Kaya. Thank y'all for listening.
Thank y'all.
Patrons: Leah, Christy, Chantel, Bexto, Jess, Bailey, Mimi, Caroline, Misty, Jessica, P, Ace, Jody, Kaylor, Minnie, Christy, Missy, Sarah, Emily, Mary, Tanya, Lindsay, Annick, Caitlin, Lyran, I bet Lyran, Paige, Caroline, Kristen, Angelica, Katrina, Tanya, Kristen, Melinda, it just says A Edwardson. You know you.
Yeah.
Aina, Swanee, Morgan, Lauren, Mackenzie, Jennifer, Dana, Maya, and Emily.
Ooh, wow. Ooh, ooh. Ooh. Thank y'all so much. That was like 30 something, I feel like. Maybe not.
It was 44.
What?
Hell yeah.
30
something like that. 43 maybe.
Love y'all.
Just exported, and I looked at it. It's 40 something.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you so much.
Y'all are the best.
People are the worst. And dipshits sometimes. It's so funny.
Clowns, guys.
Bye.
Bye.